Congratulations, class of 2020. Your journey to this moment is one that you, your friends, and family will never forget. You should be proud. You've handled the challenges that have come your way with a combination of perseverance, confidence, and grace. Please know that your community has rallied to let you know you're a very special graduating class and that we here at FCPS recognize your achievements as seniors. You join young people across the nation right now who are graduating under the shadow of a global pandemic. But I know that you are stronger for it, wiser for it, and you are kinder for it as well. The world is changing, and we're looking to young people like yourselves to lead us into the future. I am truly excited about the opportunities that await you. Go out into the world and embrace all it has to offer. Find your joy. And now I leave you with the words of Ralph Waldo Emerson. My wish is that you will find comfort on difficult days, smiles when sadness intrudes, rainbows to follow the clouds, laughter to kiss your lips, sunsets to warm your heart, hugs when spirits sag, beauty for your eyes to see, friendships to brighten your being, faith so that you can believe, confidence for when you doubt, courage to know yourself, patience to accept the truth, love to complete your life. Congratulations on your graduation, class of 2020, and I wish you all the best on your next great adventure.
Hi, I'm Karen Keys-Gamara.
I'm Rachna Sizemore-Heiser.
I'm Abrar Omesh, and we're your three at-large members on the Fairfax County School Board.
And we're here to say
congratulations to the class of 2020.
We are so incredibly proud of you. And we know that you worked hard. So whether you're going to trade school or taking a gap year or going to college, we're really expecting you to change the world.
We have been so impressed at your resilience in this time of chaos and your ability to find togetherness in moments of isolation. We know what you have lost is not trivial, but we also believe that when we come to the other side, you will be one of the greatest generations we have ever seen. And we can't wait to see what you will do.
From virtual learning, sleepless nights, and all the friends and memories, we're counting on you to take notes on the needs in our world and to think of where your mark is going to be. We can't wait to see the legacy you leave in our history.
Congratulations.
Congratulations, class of 2020. I'm Melanie Marin, your Hunter Mill District Representative on the Fairfax County School Board. The time is not now to dwell on what you don't have or what has been lost, but rather on what you have earned and the right to celebrate in this moment. When life brings times of struggle and disappointment, you have the power to take the time to reflect on what you have achieved and know your worth. You've now completed over a decade of learning to prepare for your future. This is a significant accomplishment. As you walk forward into adulthood, into a world that needs much kindness and care, please know that I believe in you and many people believe in you. Congratulations, class of 2020.
Hello, I'm Carl Frisch, Providence District Representative on the Fairfax County School Board. And this is Elaine Tolan, my colleague from the Drainsville District. Elaine?
Congratulations, Marshall class of 2020. I am so proud of all you have done already, but even more importantly, I'm excited for the hope you bring to all of us as we watch you move toward a future filled with accomplishments. We need your energy and your creativity in so many career areas. Our global challenges are huge, but I know you are ready to apply your strengths to move us toward a world and a better nation.
Elaine is exactly right. And each year, people tell graduates like you that the senior year will be one they will never forget. I think that is particularly true for the Marshall High School class of 2020. You have faced a pandemic and crippling economic crisis, the likes of which have not been seen in more than a century. Through it all, you've met these and other challenges head on. It gives me great confidence during these uncertain times to know that you are leaving high school with a firm commitment to important values like equality and justice as you demand more from your leaders. I know you will continue to make us proud as you grow into and change the world around you. Congratulations, statesmen, and best of luck in all you do.
Families, friends, members of the faculty, distinguished guests, and Mr. Litz, thank you for not being with us today. and to the George C. Marshall Class of 2020, welcome to our special graduation ceremony. Looking out at the empty seats in the auditorium, this is awkward. Although I'm sure you're much more comfortable, we never expected to be at home in our sweatpants instead of filling Constitution Hall in our caps and gowns. But I would like to think there is no other class better equipped for this than us.
We began this year the same way every senior class before us did, expecting and anticipating the quintessential high school experience. Excitement, freedom, and closure. We painted our cars, made plans for homecoming, and attended football games. We posted our schedules on social media in the hopes that we would find a friend in our classes. We dreaded the early mornings and the insane parking lot, but we always came looking forward to the day we graduated. Now, we're finally here, and it may not be happening in the way we expected, but Marshall gave us 4 years worth of Spirit Weeks with Mr. Litz and his tutus.
We're leaving without much of that classic high school experience, but we're leaving with something different and perhaps better. We began high school to learn, and were instead met with a new world, where news could be fake and facts could have alternatives. We came to school hoping to make friends, and were instead met with a new world, where we feared a similar fate that met our peers in Parkland, Santa Fe, and all around the country.
But when the world changed, we changed with it. It never got easier. Together, we got better. We adapted, persevered, and became more resilient. We advanced discussions about mental health and tried to create a safe space for our peers. We became activists and marched, protested, and walked out. We spoke up and listened to each other while learning to respect our differences. We stood by one another as our styles, opinions, and interests changed, as we each became our own person.
Perhaps then, our class is defined by our unexpected high school experience, and by our ability to overcome them. We will be defined by everything that defied our expectations and made our experiences unique, that made us better and stronger.
We're not only defined by the experiences we share, but also by the community we share.
We graduate today from one of the premier public schools in the Commonwealth of Virginia and the nation. We graduate with diplomas from an institution we didn't alone pay for. Our friends, our families, our neighbors did. Educating us is an investment in our future, our personal futures, and this community's future.
Then there's another reality of the diplomas we're graduating with. This is not a privilege afforded to everyone. Our 4 years at Marshall are a part of the school's and FCPS's longer history. We are the 57th graduating class. Marshall first opened in 1963, after FCPS committed to racially integrated public schools after years of resistance. And just as that first class graduated at a time where progress began, we graduate at a time where there is still work to be done.
But this is why these diplomas matter. They mean we are ready to graduate. They mean that we've learned to articulate our knowledge in English classes, that we've refined our values in history and government classes, that we possess problem-solving skills from our math and science classes.
With these 4 years of resilience and this diploma, we take on these expectations that have been placed before us. We stand prepared with an understanding of the realities of the world we are formally entering, and we are armed with the knowledge and skills to make the progress expected of us.
These past 4 years have not been easy, and I know many of us have had to face moments of hopelessness and inadequacy, of struggling to keep up with expectations that felt impossible to reach. We all experienced our own versions of these feelings, but these weren't challenges we faced alone. We were prepared for no one to notice, except that didn't happen. Our friends, our peers, we noticed each other. We did not have another's lived experiences, but we sought to understand. We responded with empathy, and we taught each other that we are smart, that we are capable, and that we are loved.
We have all taught each other the importance of empathy, and I'm excited to see us all carry this with us into everything we do. However, this will require persistence. We've spent the past 4 years in a place that prized diversity, that asked us to volunteer our time to support our community through things like No Place for Hate Talks, Best Buddies programs, and environmental cleanups.
But in the real world, there is no community service requirement. In the real world, no one will expect you to care about things that don't affect you personally. We will be free to stay in our comfort zones with no one to push us to meet new people, to try new things, or to consider new perspectives.
My hope is that all of us go forward with the compassion and openness that Marshall has instilled in us, to open ourselves to new opportunities and opinions, to stand up for what we believe in and fight for change.
Because we live in a culture that needs empathy now more than ever. We may never live another person's experiences, and they may never live ours. But I hope that as we leave this place that has sheltered us, that we expand, not contract our concerns. That we take the time to understand another's experiences as well as we understand our own. Because this is what we owe to each other and to our community.
Thank you all for 4 years of your friendship and your empathy. We've all made each other better people for it. Please continue inspiring people the way you inspired us. Be good.
Thank you, and congratulations, class of 2020.
Hello, students and families. I hope that you are watching this in good health. The man that will be giving the commencement speech that closes our 3.5 short years at Marshall is one who has truly lived a life of service to others. After graduating college, Richard Myers commissioned as an officer in the United States Air Force. As a command pilot during the Vietnam War, he flew 600 combat hours and climbed through the ranks of the Air Force. In 2001, he was appointed as the 15th chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff and became the highest-ranking uniformed officer in the United States military. After selflessly serving his country for 4 decades, Richard Myers retired as a 4-star general and received the Presidential Medal of Freedom. However, his life of service did not end after the military. He now serves his alma mater as the president of Kansas State University. Without further ado, Richard Myers.
Thank you for this opportunity, and congratulations on graduating from high school. I'm Richard Myers, president of Kansas State University, retired Air Force general, former chairman of the U.S. Joint Chiefs of Staff, and most importantly, grandfather to Sophie Little, one of your classmates. This isn't how any of us thought your final high school semester would end. This should be a time of saying in-person goodbyes to all your teachers and classmates, maybe a party or two, and walking across the stage to get your diploma to the cheers of family and friends. Instead, you learned a new vocabulary, words such as pandemic, flattening the curve, are not, quarantine, and social distancing. But you have also learned a lot about life in these past several months, lessons that will be invaluable and indispensable as you go through the years ahead. I believe there are 5 areas that will be particularly useful to you no matter what your future holds. The first of these is disappointment. I'm sure you experienced many disappointments in your life, but I imagine the last several months rank right up there as perhaps the biggest one. We don't go through life on a straight line. There are always ups and downs, and the things you have missed while you were confined to home are one of the downs. You have every right to feel disappointed that your expectations for your last semester in high school weren't fulfilled. Hopefully you realized the situation was beyond your control and set about doing the best that you could in the situation. Disappointment is part of life. How you deal with it defines your character. Martin Luther King said, "We must accept finite disappointment, but never lose infinite hope." And that leads to the second lesson you learned. You learned how to be more resilient. Resilience is what gives all of us the psychological strength to cope with stress and hardship and to bounce back when things don't go as planned. Resilience allows us to achieve goals with minimal psychological and physical cost. You have shown great resilience, and you've achieved a big goal in your life by graduating from high school, as only 86% of Americans ever accomplish this. You've succeeded. You didn't let the pandemic stop you from being successful. And now that you know you are more resilient, you can take on the rest of your life with the confidence that you can bounce back from whatever life hands you. Here's a quote from Nelson Mandela that I like. "Do not judge me by my success. Judge me by how many times I fell down and got back up again." The third life lesson is discipline. The pandemic is tough for all of us. The longer it goes on, the harder it is to stay disciplined, to do what the medical and government authorities say we must do. We're all tired of living in a world where we have to social distance, wash our hands frequently, limit our mobility, avoid crowds, wear a face mask. The key to getting to the point of relaxing restrictions is that you, I, pretty much everyone, have had the discipline to do what we were asked to do. It was a matter of life and death. Our individual discipline has allowed us collectively to have an impact on this disease. We risk going backwards if we lose our discipline. I've seen this many times in my military career, where given life or death situations, some did not have the discipline or willpower to continue doing what had kept them and their colleagues safe. But you've had the willpower to do what is right, what is expected, and seen that that has been for the greater good. Another quote from Nelson Mandela that I like: "Running taught me valuable lessons. In cross-country competition, training counted more than intrinsic ability, and I could compensate for a lack of natural aptitude with diligence and discipline. I applied this in everything I did." Without trying, you've learned another great life lesson: the value of science. Part of your high school education is to teach you to think critically about the issues of the day: climate change, nuclear power, hunger, public health. You probably didn't realize it, but you've learned a lot about public health, epidemiology, pandemic modeling, all science-based. Science has had a profound impact in our fight against this current virus. And for sure, science is going to intertwine with your lives like no generation before, with artificial intelligence, robotics, data analytics, and biology, dramatically changing all of our lives. If our lives are going to change for the better, then all of you need to have at least a basic understanding of the science behind the new inventions and the new technology. At Kansas State, we have a physics course for policymakers. The thought is that policymakers must have some understanding of the science to make good public policy decisions. As you think about how science has contributed to our understanding of the last several months, I hope you've gained an appreciation for why basic science knowledge will be critical to your future. Marie Curie, who has won the Nobel Prize twice in the sciences, said, "Nothing in life is to be feared. It is only to be understood. Now is the time to understand more so that we may fear less." Finally, and most importantly, I believe we have all learned to be more compassionate. We've learned to do things we would rather not do for the common good, to sacrifice, to act in social solidarity with most of the world's population. How awesome is that? These two things will determine our success against this complex virus. I first heard sacrifice for the common good and social solidarity as it pertains to this pandemic from David Brooks, noted columnist on the PBS NewsHour on April 17th. We've all had to come together in ways we really haven't had to in generations. Our actions now can mean life or death, and the majority chose compassion for those at risk. We really chose love over reckless behavior. All the empty streets, empty stadiums, playgrounds across the globe are love in action. What a profound lesson to learn so young. Hopefully you'll see other issues where social solidarity and sacrificing for the common good will help all of humanity. Here's a quote from Albert Einstein: "Our task must be to free ourselves by widening our circle of compassion to embrace all living creatures and the whole of nature and its beauty." Well, you've had a unique and very impressive journey of learning these past 3 months. You've conquered disappointment, become more resilient, learned the value of discipline, observed how science can save tens of thousands of lives, and shown compassion for your fellow man. What an education. You are indeed ready for the world, and the world is indeed ready for you. We need you. We need you to be especially good citizens. Listen to what your school's namesake, George C. Marshall, had to say. Democracy is the most demanding of all forms of government in terms of the energy, imagination, and public spirit required of the individual. My generation is counting on you, and I know we won't be disappointed. Thank you very much for the opportunity to be with you, and again, congratulations on graduating from high school, and good luck.
During voting for this year's faculty speaker, one of Mr. A's students, Hart, asked if he would be interested in the role. Mr. A told him that he didn't think enough students knew about him, so he wouldn't have a chance at getting elected. Hart decided to start a campaign on Instagram for him and told Mr. A that he better start writing his speech.
A couple months ago, an account requested to follow me called the Alan Alschler Campaign Association, run by a couple of his students who wanted Mr. A to be faculty speaker so much that they decided to be his campaign managers. You all chose Mr. Alschler to be your faculty speaker by an overwhelming majority, and the reasons why are obvious.
From my experience as a student, along with many student testimonials, I can confidently say Mr. A is one of the most genuine and passionate teachers at Marshall. He relates his real-life experiences as an engineer to his math lessons, which makes each one of his lessons engaging and informative.
We asked many of you to send adjectives that you thought best described Mr. A, and we'd love to share some of the responses.
Humble.
Dependable.
Genius.
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 A lot of you guys said that one.
Supportive.
Patient.
Freakishly fast grader.
Passionate.
Understanding.
And considerate.
Every day during Learn, you can see Mr. Alschler individually helping students at the board. Never impatient, always encouraging, and proud of the work that his students are doing. Mr. A loves his students as much as he loves the math that he's teaching them.
Any student would be so lucky to have Mr. A as a teacher, and the impact he's made on the class of 2020 speaks for itself. We are so honored to introduce him as your faculty speaker.
Hello, class of 2020. First, let me say that it's an honor to have been chosen by you to speak today. Actually, I'm wearing this mask. I don't have to, but I wanted to remind you of what's going on in the world these days. This obviously isn't the format that we had hoped to have for graduation. I feel so very sorry that we're connecting virtually rather than in person. It's been almost 3 months since I've seen you. I'm getting used to teaching math from my basement rather than E-Hall, but I miss you terribly. I'm also going to be missing the graduation ceremony. I must admit, my favorite part isn't the ceremony itself, but rather when we arrive downtown. Very large groups of students gather on either side of Constitution Hall, waiting to get in line to make a grand entrance before their family and friends. In today's climate, that situation would violate all the rules of good social distancing. One could easily call it a mosh pit of students. My favorite thing to do is to dive in, see you all dressed and smiling nicely, and ready to move on with the rest of your lives. I get handshakes, fist bumps, and hugs. I'm so very sorry that we won't have that graduation today, but I feel we will make it up to you in some way in the future. While I'm talking about the circumstances that are keeping us physically apart, I must address the first responders and essential workers among those gathered with us. Your bravery in helping our community is truly inspiring, and I know that I speak for the entire faculty when I say we owe you a deep debt of gratitude. I received emails from many colleagues anxious to hear my wisdom in this speech. Although I am a wise guy at times, I don't consider myself a very wise man. So I looked for wisdom through my students, who sent me a number of emails at the end of this past school year. I found a common thread among them: why. I don't mean the letter Y, as in y equals x squared. No, I'm referring to the word why, W-H-Y. History and English classes are well steeped in why, but not math. where we often teach how to do things such as algebra. Our tests are oriented to ask students how to solve problems. Rarely do we teach or test why we are doing things. As humans, we are born curious. We can easily imagine young children asking their parents, why? I don't often get asked why in the classroom. How questions are much more prevalent. So I made an effort this year to describe why you were learning the various aspects of mathematics. This seems to be a natural style of teaching, to make students comfortable so that they will listen. It appears that I was at least somewhat successful in keeping students' attention with the hows of math by first going through the whys. I have a story related to this. I threw that line in here because when I do so in class, my students say, shh, he's going to tell us a story. So here goes. One Father's Day, a number of years ago, my children gave me a present, tickets to an event. They wanted to keep the actual event a surprise. So they sat me in the back seat of our family car and tried to blindfold me. I guess that blindfold was the equivalent of the wrapping on the present, to be removed at the venue. I insisted that they not, because I must always know where I am and where I'm going. They say I have internal GPS. In fact, I freak out when not knowing. It's like my GPS is broken. I would be a very bad kidnapping victim. I drive the kidnappers crazy. So I wouldn't permit the blindfold. My family can attest to my anxiety in the car as we headed west towards Leesburg, north into Maryland, and further still into Pennsylvania, turning east on the turnpike, and finally arriving at our destination, Reading, Pennsylvania. I never would have guessed we were headed there. This may seem hard to believe, but those 2+ hours in the car were among the most stressful of my life. I was happy when we reached the destination, a AA baseball game to be played by the Reading Phillies. I wish they had told me where we were going beforehand. I was very happy with the gift they had given me, but not so happy with the way it was presented. When why is taught, it tells you where you are going, and it seems to make many students comfortable, similar to me knowing my destination. Why am I telling you all this? Because you are all going to be teachers someday. When filling out forms, not many of you will be writing the word teacher in the box under the heading occupation. Rather, you will someday be in a position to teach a coworker, or even better, to teach your own child. They say that raising a human child from birth through adulthood is the most difficult job in nature. You should turn to your parents or guardians now and thank them for the education you received from them. I focused on education here, but I'll shift gears somewhat. I love sports, particularly team sports. After a win, teammates congregate and party together. Lacking live sports, last night I watched the Caps celebrate their Stanley Cup victory. In my mind, there is nothing like the togetherness of a team, providing some of my fondest memories when I played sports seemingly a century ago. You couldn't have possibly learned what you did in school without the help of a team. Education is a team sport, even according to Isaac Newton. He said, "If I have seen further, it is by standing on the shoulders of giants." Those giants were on Newton's team. So who is on your team? Your family and friends? Those in your class that you did homework with? Those upperclassmen that helped you as tutors? Those underclassmen that you tutored? Not to mention your teachers. This is one big team. Today, as all of you graduate, our Marshall High School team is victorious. As part of that team, I am thrilled to be sharing in that victory with you. So go, do good things. Don't be a stranger. You can write or visit me at school, but only after the final bell of the day, per Mr. Litz's instructions. Congratulations, you've truly earned it.
This year, the class of 2020 will be starting a fund to build bathrooms by the athletic fields. Thank you all for your donations and financial support throughout these last 4 years.
We hope that future Marshall graduating classes will continue to donate to this cause until we've raised enough to construct these new facilities. Thank you.
Haley and I would like to take a moment to thank Mr. Bello and the rest of the SGA and leadership for everything they have contributed to our 4 years at Marshall. From organizing Homecoming and Spirit Week, to fundraising for the Leukemia Lymphoma Society in the winter, to hosting the Marshall Madness Carnival in the spring, this organization has created some of the most memorable events and helped unify us as one school, one community.
We would like to give a special thank you to Mr. Bello, who has given his unlimited support to all of us in the SGA and leadership, and really facilitated all of the events the student government has planned. Thank you, Mr. Bello, all of the Marshall administration, Mr. Litz, the entire SGA, and especially our senior class officers for making our senior year and whole high school experience as fun and fulfilling as possible.
In this most unusual of years, before I present you to Mr. Litz, I have a couple of things to share with you. Starting when you were in kindergarten, the then superintendent, Dr. Dale, had leaders in the county look to the class of 2020. Each year we examined, and some of the things that we talked about is, would we have the technology that you would need? Could we educate you in the ways that would help you develop resiliency? And what about grit, strength of will, moral fiber, toughness, and determination? So the answer to those was so-so on technology, and it proved to be even more important than he probably thought. As for resiliency and grit, the answer is yes, and yes. The class of 2020, you have helped redefine we're all in this together. And now, the class of 2020, you have an opportunity to define we are going to figure this out together. You will continue to lean into the challenges. We've seen you do that in the past. And you will likely need just those three things: technology, resiliency, and grit. Now let's go on with the ceremony. Mr. Litz, it is my privilege to present to you these 533 seniors, the 57th graduating class of George C. Marshall High School. I certify that they have met the graduation requirements established by the Commonwealth of Virginia and the Fairfax County School Board. I declare them eligible for graduation. Are you ready? From George C. Marshall High School.
Hello, class of 2020. Before I make the declaration that I know you've all been waiting for, I want to tell you how very proud I am of you. Over the past 4 years, I've watched you support each other, cheer each other on, whether it be on the field, on the court, in the concert hall, in the art classroom, and so many, many other places. I want to wish each and every one of you the very, very best moving forward, and I certainly hope that you will let us know how you're all doing. And with that, by virtue of the authority vested in me by the Commonwealth of Virginia and the Fairfax County School Board, I hereby confirm that these students presented to me are the class of 2020 graduates of George C. Marshall High School.
Shama Shukri Abdel Fattah, Ahmad Muawiyah Abu Al-Hawa, Elizabeth Lynn Abu Hawa, Khalid Bassam Abu Samaya, Omar Bassem Abu Samaya, Sulema Achir, Serena Caitlin Agnew, Jayla Averdieva, Shams H. Al-Jassar, Rima Suleiman A. Al-Araini, Marisa del Carmen Almazan Estevez, Mishari Fahad A. Al-Sakr, Ranim Khaled A. Al-Sarami, Farah Al-Shakani, Maya Ala Al-Taher, Gregory Georgina Altamirano Galdamez, Youssef Amir Makram Ab Al-Tantawi, Hannah Rose Altman, Dina Ahmed Mohammed Amin, Alexander William Amiot, Shivani Anand, Michael Jose Arias Coelho, Isabella Michelina Atkins, Henry Allen Auville, Paula Andrea Bacaresa Jimenez, Magnus Kierbier Bagger, Parsia Barami, Hala Said Baitis, Ethan Samuel Baker, Vedhas Banaji, Alexander Mason Coleman Bank, Jenladi Bastida, Alana Cortelu Becker, Nuhamin Iyasu Bekele, Nehom Mulugeta Berhi, Soven Vansh Bhagat, Lakshmi Shashidhar Baramagudar, Christian Binder, Grace Elizabeth Beer, Aya Isan Bordi, Eric Christopher Bullock, Avery Michelle Burke, Zachary Philip Butler, Gavin Cavi Cadle, Alberto Jose Calderon, Austin Jackie Campbell, Brandon Joseph Campbell, Maria Francesca Campos, Nathalie Esmeralda Campos, Brian Benjamin Carpio, Ian Castanaro, Caroline Rose Catterton, Nathan Juan Jen Chan, Nicole Francesca Chavez, Nicole Imane Chibili, Jonathan Chen, Robert Chidich Patapievich, Akshay Choksi, Kanol Jane Choksi, Sasha Faryar Chuba, Michael James Serko, Catherine Mary Kolayani, Dwayne Alexander Counts, Lillian Jeline Cousens, Ian Michael Cruz, Robert Jonathan Cruz Ortega, Gloriana Cubero Fernandez, Benjamin Charles Dabick, Helen Van Dang, Catherine Joy Davy, Andrew Joseph Davis, Patrick Marshall Dirks, Samantha Rose Devon, Miles Apollo Devlin, Megan Janet Dewsbury, Teresa Mady Dong, Jillian Louise Dumont, Kathleen Isabel Dunn, Shannon Colin Eastman, Elise Victoria Ebert, Nathan Elam, Daniel Esmalian, Samuel Allen Esser, Shima Razi Farja, Kathleen Rode Farr, Audrey Janet Ferrand, James Robert Gabriel Fishman, Elizabeth Ann Fleury, Kai Jabari Foster, Aidan James Freeman, Ethan Marcel Fulcher, Ishika Garg, Alessandro Joaquin Gotti, Ashley Martha George, Brandon Matthew Ghani, Ayana Tarkan Jardina, Alicia Sofia Gonzalez, Claudia Hope Gonzalez, Jonathan Thomas Gubo, Jacob Eli Gould, Sean Grapin, Dante Luigi Grocha, Isabella Brianna Gulick, Peter George Guma, Catherine Keshin Guo, Michael Taeyong Ham, Redit Askale Hailu, Daniel Duff Haldeman, Abigail Maria Alejandro Han, Diana Hanlon, Sarah Harlow, Elijah Christian Harris, Noah Ethan Hassett, Michael Robert Heath, Talia Marie Hendricks Stracuzzi, Sandra Carolina Hernandez Vasquez, Corey Bradley Higgins, Colin Samuel Hill, Aisha Joy Hins, Tristan Kern Hintz, Daniel Patrick Hoffman, Victoria Ann Hammer, Petra Rubina Honeni, Emily Elizabeth Hoskins, Marwa Rayan Huala, Fiza Abid Hussein, Zainab Ahmed Noor Hussein, William Kimball Izdebski, Isabella Yuan Hong Jackson, Emma Anastasia Jacobs Vladigat, Rohan Jia Jain, Javarian Jerkins, Jacqueline Grace Jewsbury, Christopher Changbao Zhang, Kaylin Matthew Jordan, Andrew John Joseph, N.B. Zhang, Aisha Kazi, Jalila Solomon Kabede, Vyushti Khanna, Yusuf Mohammed Ali El Sayed Karabi, Ashley Kim, Brandon Michael Kim, Victoria Hanul Kim, Won Kim, Sophia Juliana Conde, Taylor Jenna Kotler, Jacob Alexander Krebs, Natasha Krishnamurthy, Madeline Grace Crisco, Yilsa Dabas Kumar, Delphin Jose Estonilo Lagman, Angelina Nakaimi Lam, Huai Bin Lan, Nurfakia binti Lasim. William Alexander Lawrence. Annie Marie Leap. Seo-Yoon Lee. Brogan Lee Pollack. Aiden Go Leisure. Sydney Julia Leonard. Hannah Mae Leviton. Noelle Zinzale Lewis. Katie Mae Lee. Joshua Linsangan. Rachel Bess Lippetz. Aaron Donato Lis. Sophie Marie Little. Jason Xinhui Liu. Angie Kimberly Meech Loesa Bernoy. Tenzin Sedub Lodo. Gabriel Edgar Lomas. Haley Hannah Long. Jessica Beatriz Lopez Orozco. Mohammed Ibrahim Fatih Abdullah Mabruk. Ian G. McKeith. Amir Arsalan Mada. Anissa Makaran. Alishba Aaron Malik. Asma Sabir Malik. Andrew Margiata. Maria Michaela Diliaco Marin. John Thomas Marney. Natalie Elizabeth Martin. Wendy Marie McCone. Kira Kelly McKinnon. Gavin Sanders McNabb. Ruhi Rakesh Mehta. Maria Raquel Mendoza Blanco. Perry Menser. Anthony John Manella. Allison Jean Marani. Parth Mittal. Lila Grace Mobley. Samir Modi. Monib Mograbi. Alif Shakiran bin Mod Balkisha. Noor Alia Sabrina binti Mod Balkisha. Lars Eichelberg Mukherjee. Jessica Natalia Murillo Membreno. Shobitha Srinivasan Nelator. Robert Newton. Elaine Thi No. Alex D. Nguyen. Jennifer Lee Nguyen, Eileen Mary Nolan Landwehr, Alexandra Vale Norman, Joanna Marisol Oberstein, Buckley Earl O'Day, Jasmine Ming Yi Ong, Dominic Thomas Ortolano, Eli Zachary Osborne, Simone Oteri, Nurai Yasmin Osden, Jason Pan, Rishi Agnihotri Panya, Ashna Pedinti, Brianna Peng, Katarina Maria Perez Sino, Isabel Teresa Peralt, John Patrick Perry, Sophia Juliana Piazza, Jacob William Pigeon, Jillian Hunter Piñano, Dason Jesus Pineda, Eric Ryan Podolny, Anshu Pokarel, Brian Christopher Powers, Pranav Prabhu, Sami Hisham Kasrawi, Kyle Francis Quigley, Aditya Raghavan, Sana Ramdev, Lance Miguel Cabrera Ramirez, Jocelyn Marcela Ramirez Vasquez, Ephraim Barrow Rayburn, Catriel Louise Recepcion, Allison Elizabeth Reese, Ariana Rebecca Reskusik, Sean Christopher Respicio, Jenna Celia Reddy, Catherine Buscemi Roos, Allison Grace Reynolds, Ryan Ferris Rezai, Kelly Marissa Ribeiro, Alexander George Ristic, Sarai Michelle Rivera Bonilla, Sophie Ariel Rothhart, Jeremiah David Rosas, Raya Sarah Rustam, Justin Patrick Ruddy, Karan Sagal, Kaya Ahmed Salem, Aidan Thomas Sanders, Ria Mehta Saran, Dhruv Sarin, Shweta Satish Kumar, John Michael Savage, Quentin Lee Scarborough, Kaya Roberta Schlolaud, Sarah Grace Schmorrow, Rebecca Marie Schutte, Shruti Sakar, Danya Selvaraju, Mayuk Sengupta, Adriana Shi, Timothy Stephen Shields, Neha Gauri Shirolkar, Olawapelame Stephanie Shalagbade, Angraj K. Singh, Jaisamir Singh, Mark William Skaggs, Julia A. Slavinsky, Julia Therese Smith, Lena Grace Smith, Sydney Marie Smith, Lilia Hasti Sorabi, Hedi M. Soleimani, Jennifer Marie Soto, Karam Karl Sufi, Zoe Elizabeth Mary Soule, Joao Victor Sousa Alankar, Rachel Naomi South, Jessica Claire Sova, Sophia Russell Spike, Elizabeth Michelle Stern, Evan Paul Stolberg, Benjamin Christopher Stone, Emily Mediatrice Suguru, Sophia Rose Supernor, Connor Sean Swaney, Catherine Sully Tadlock, Alexandra Paris Taylor, Hannah Jane Taylor, Sophia Eileen Tedesco, William Joseph Theringer, Ian Lane Thompson, Mia Chizuru Tillman, Aaron Robert Tingley, Mohina Bonu Tolibueva, Angelina Noel Tomseth, Kylan Delaney Tanizo, Riley Holland Tran, John Renee Trodden, Yatzari Trujillo Abundez, Non Huang Trong, Wilson Tryon, Chloe Jane Olsch, Hannah Rachel Van Hook, Sophia Isabel Vergara, Matthew Q. Warren, Liam Bernard Watts, Beatrice Buell Webster, Mary Alexandra Weeks, Christopher John Wickham, Angelina Athena Wiederock, Benjamin Jeffrey Willis Jones, Christian David Wint, Anna Lena Zabilla Monica Wormer, Wanless Connor Yates, Emmanuel Kese Yubwa, Satyansh Yalori, Matthew Jun Yim, Ali Yousefi, Samia Anjum Zaman, Amy Jong, Pamela Zhou,
There are places I remember all my life, though some have changed, some forever, not for better. Some have gone and some remain. All these places had their moments with lovers and friends. I still can recall. Some are dead and some are living. In my life I love them all. Do, 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 But of all these friends and lovers, there is no one compares with you. And these memories lose their meaning when I think of love as something new. Though I know I'll never lose affection for people and things that went before, I know I'll often stop and think about them. In my life I love you more, though I know I'll never lose affection for people and things that went before. I know I'll often stop and think about them. In my life I love you more. In my life I There are places I remember all my life, though some have changed, some forever, not for better. Some have gone and some remain. All these places had their moments with lovers and friends. I still can recall. Some are dead and some are living. In my life I loved them all. But of all these friends and lovers, there is no one compares with you. And these memories lose their meaning when I think of love as something new.